9 days from college football, so let's start going through conference previews and let's start making some predictions. I'm going to start down there at the bottom. Purdue, UCLA. I'm pretty sure it's pretty common that everybody thinks that they're going to be two of the worst teams. I have Purdue winning one game. Don't have everybody in here because 18 teams, too many, doesn't really matter. If you're really curious, I have Minnesota and Michigan State as my bottom two teams. I really think that bottom six teams could rotate around. We'll see what happens. After that, I got Illinois. I like what Bert's doing. I like what Brett Bielema's doing over there, but they just don't have a great team this year. I think he'll stick around for another year, but I'm just not confident in them. Indiana's a wild card here. I actually have them at 6-6. I think Curt Cignetti is really good as a coach. They did just lose one of their offensive linemen for the season. I think that's going to be pretty big. Then we got Northwestern. Again, I can't really count them out. David Braun proved that he has a really good coaching style to fit in the Big Ten. I'm just not confident in them being able to do much more than what they have right there. Washington's going to take a significant step back. I'm just not feeling the Washington vibes. They've got a tougher schedule. They do play Penn State. They have to go to Iowa. I'm not super sold on them being able to win more than 6 games. They lost a lot of guys. They lost almost the entire offense, 2 deeps. They lost a lot of guys on defense, and plus they got a new head coach. Maryland will be interesting. MJ Morris comes over from NC State. I really like what he has to offer. But again, we've seen this happen with Maryland where they start hot and then they fall apart. Are they going to be able to beat a Penn State? Are they going to be able to beat a couple of these other big teams? I'm not sure. Rutgers is a sleeper team for me here. They've got a lot of returning talent on defense. I think they're going to be able to shut some teams down. Don't be surprised if they go to USC and win. Don't be surprised if they end up with 8 wins. They avoid Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, which is huge for their schedule. They get Washington at home. They get Wisconsin at home. Their really only tough games on the road are USC and Maryland. They also go to Virginia Tech out of conference. Nebraska, they line up really well. They might go into Ohio State 6-1 or 7-0. They have a pretty easy schedule starting out. Dylan Raiola is a name to watch. We'll see if he lives with the 5-star hype. Matt Rhule's a great coach. We've seen him turn around Baylor. We saw him turn around Temple. I think that this is the year he gets it going. Don't be surprised if they win 9 games. USC has a pretty difficult schedule for their first year in the Big Ten. Not only do they have Notre Dame and LSU, they also have Michigan and Penn State, and they also have to play the Nebraska team. They have to play Maryland. They got to play they play Wisconsin. So I think they could be 7-5 and probably be better than that record says. Start jumping in the top 6 here. Wisconsin, I love what Luke Fickell does. I'm not sure if they're going to win more than 8 games, though. I think that Wisconsin is trending upwards right now. Tyler Van Dyke is a massive question mark. He was not very good last year at Miami. We'll see if he's able to turn that around this year. They did bring in a couple of good guys like Tackett Curtis from USC to play linebacker. So if that defense can be strong, I could see them reaching that 9 or 10 wins. Penn State, same question we have every year. Are they going to be able to get over the hump? Can they beat Ohio State? They do avoid Michigan this year. They get USC. They have West Virginia out of conference. Outside of those 3 games, I'm not super sold that they're going to lose any games. They do get Wisconsin on the road, I believe. Washington comes to them. The schedule is not very difficult. There's no reason this team can't win 10 games. Michigan's a similar situation to Washington, except not nearly the rebuild. They lost a lot of talent on that offense. They lost a lot of guys. That defense should still be very strong. But Alex Orji, we have no idea what we're going to get out of him. Donovan Edwards should be the clear leader on this offense. But they play Texas in week 2. We're going to find out what they're made of them. Look, Iowa's an outside chance to make the college football playoff. They play potentially one ranked team all season, being Ohio State. Outside of that, there's a good chance they're favored in every other game. They don't play Michigan. They don't play USC. They don't play Penn State. They don't play a very tough schedule. So everybody else other than Ohio State, they get at home. They get Washington at home. They get Wisconsin at home. They get Nebraska at home. There's no reason this team should not be flirting with 10 wins. That offense does not need to be much better than what it was last year. If they finish 70th in total offense, that's a massive improvement from 130th. And then Oregon, Ohio State, I think they're the clear-cut favorites. I think they play October 12th, and I think they rematch again at the end of the season. Both these teams are absolutely loaded. They should both make the playoffs. You've got Will Howard on one side. You've got Dylan Gabriel on the other. You've got tons of talent. You got Jeremiah Smith. You got Evan Stewart. You've got Travion Henderson. You got Quinshon Judkins. The question is for both of these teams comes down to a couple positions. Oregon, the secondary's got to improve. It's got to be better than what it was. Ohio State, that offensive line needs to be ready to go. It's going to be a physical season. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know who you guys think are going to be matching up in the college football playoff.